Hey, this is Reggie Fab coming at you with week 15 of my year of living differently. And this week was about taking some time for me, as well as week one of my big money plan. So, on the taking time for me, it was very interesting. I set out to take 30 minutes every day where I did absolutely nothing, and then taking one day off from my responsibilities and things to do. And this week's activity was an abysmal failure. It was just horrible. I couldn't do it. I would sit and try to just unplug and tone out and really clear my mind, and all I could do is think about all the other things that I had to do. Oh, you need to get this done, and you should be doing this, and you should be doing this. And I felt really guilty about not doing that. And there were a couple of times when I was in the middle of the time and I just got up and started doing things without even thinking about it. It was so just, I guess, intuitive. I need to be doing something, and I'm so programmed to be in response mode. I've got to be doing something. Not doing something drives me bananas, and I couldn't do it. And so, with the guilt of not doing things and my brain racing about all the things that I should be, could be, would be doing, it was actually really stressful for me when I could do it. And I couldn't manage the 30 minutes, so I certainly didn't get to the entire day. It just didn't work. I think it is something that I need to learn to do, and it's something that I really need to focus on, concentrate to be able to unplug and unwind and to really disconnect for a little bit just to give that recharging time. But right now, I just don't have the skills to do that. So, what I did instead was just make sure that I had some time for fun. I'm not a big TV watcher. I do watch Scandal every Thursday night, so that's happening. But, occasionally maybe I'll watch The Big Bang Theory or The Good Wife, but television isn't an active part of my life. So occasionally just taking 30 minutes and watching a TV show or playing Ruzzle and Words with Friends or Bejeweled or something like that on my phone for a few minutes. Just some things to do that are really fun and that I enjoy and I have a good time. That was far more relaxing for me than taking the 30 minutes of doing nothing, ironically. But it's something that I want to make sure that I do work on and learn how to do, because I know that I need that recharging time. The other thing that I did this week is week one of the big money plan. And so I don't know exactly how many weeks this is going to take. This is a complete money makeover for me, and I want to make sure that I'm devoting the amount of time to it that it really needs, as this is a huge project. So week one was really about education, information. What do I have? What do I need? And kind of a little bit of what's out there. And it's funny the amount of things that you know, but you don't really know. So I really wanted to make sure, taking nothing for granted, just laying out all of the things that I needed to work through. The first was, what accounts do I have? What are the tools and instruments that I have that are money holding accounts for me? So that was my checking account, my savings account, my money market account, my retirement accounts. Really looking through what accounts I have and to understand what fees are associated with them, what interest rates I have with them, what my annual yearly percentage yield is. or what are special features, what are fees that are associated with them. So am I paying for certain kinds of services? Do I have certain kinds of services? Do I have the ability to transfer money between different banks electronically? Do I have the ability to pay bills online? Do I have money management software built into some of the online accounts? What things do I have for the accounts that I have now? Because in order to make good decisions, you have to have really good information. And I wanted to make sure that was all laid out and I could see it across the board for all of the accounts that I have. The second thing was really looking at my budget. Where am I currently spending my money? Now, as I discussed really early in my year of living differently, that I moved to LearnVest so that I could be more financially aware, and that's been great. But this was a little bit more. I go in, I look at that pretty much on a daily basis of where my money's going, but this is also about budget to actuals. So if I'm budgeting this much money, but I'm spending this much money, why is that happening? Where are the places in my life where I'm overspending? Where are the places in my life where I'm underspending, and why? Just making sure that I know what bills I have, when they're due, how much I owe on each bill, really making sure that I have a solid understanding of what my current budget and cash flow are like. Again, that's one of those things where I have a budget. I'm pretty good about sticking with my budget. And, I go 20, $30 over budget. I don't really think about it. But it adds up over time. And it's still a question of why. Sometimes it's just laziness. I don't feel like packing a lunch, so I go out to eat. Well, I didn't budget for it, so I need to put that into the budget, or I'm eating out more times than I did budget for. Just making those adjustments so that your budget is actually closer to your actuals, and it becomes a really great financial management tool. So then I looked at the accounts that I need. And, I got a checking account, I've got a savings account, I've got investments accounts. I'm really good. But when I started thinking about it and being more disciplined and really segregating my money for the purpose, I realized I actually need a few more accounts than I have. So I need one checking account. Checking account is really for the daily expenses that I incur, paying bills, getting the cash that I need to do the things that I need to do throughout my daily life. One checking account is fine for me as a single person, no problems. But then I started looking at the other types of accounts I have, or the other types of accounts that I need. I need a savings account, and I need an emergency savings account. If something happens, I need about 6 months worth of living expenses in an account. And that should be a separate account that I don't touch. I get that money and that level in there, I leave it alone. I also need a short-term savings account for things like I'm going to go to Italy next year. I need to save up for Christmas presents. I really want this new camera. Sort of the short-term expenses that are going to be within a year that I want to be able to save towards, put money towards, and that in a segregated account. So I know what I need to put in there on a monthly basis or a paycheck basis to get toward a very specific savings goal. The third is a long-term savings account for things like a house or a new addition to the house. I love my car. My car has been great, and I think I've got several more years, but at some point in time, it's going to give out. So putting some money away so that I'm prepared for those larger expenses that are going to be down the road, so that I'm really not jacking up my current financial situation because I have a really large expense that comes up. And then I realized I need a cash flow savings account. And this is just for those emergency pop-up expenses. My car broke down. I dropped my phone, which happened to me, and iPhones are not cheap. So things like that, they're not, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But they are unexpected expenses, unbudgeted expenses, so it doesn't allow your budgeted cash flow to be disrupted, and you can still take care of the things you need to take care of. I want a Mad Money account, and that doesn't necessarily have to be an account. That could even be just a jar in the bedroom, but just some money for me to do whatever I want to with. If I want to go get my nails done, if I want to go eat with my friends, if I want to go take a pole dancing class, whatever I want to do with that money, it's mine, and I don't have to document it. I don't have to write it down. It's the Mad Money, have fun, go wild, go crazy money for the month. And that's a small amount of money, but just a little bit of freedom and a little bit of fun. And then I realized I really need, for long-term growth, I need a growth investment account where I'm really trying to make some money. And I need much more of a stable IRA traditional retirement account so that I've got something that's steadily growing and I'm not taking as much risk. Next, I decided to look into the belly of the beast. Credit cards. I have been working really hard to pay off my credit cards, and so that part felt great. I had several credit cards that were paid, and I was loving it. I have a few that are not, and I wasn't loving that as much. But really looking at them to make sure that I know what the cards are and how many accounts that I have, if there are any fees associated with those, if I have an annual fee or any kinds of late payment fees, whatever types of fees that I might incur with that. Also making sure that I understand when the statement ends and when the bill is due, what kind of grace period I have, and most importantly, what my APR is. These credit cards are so high, and lots of times you can even call them and negotiate your rate down, but you need to know what your current rate is that you're spending. And so just making sure that I have that information. Another key fact is I wanted to know how long it would take me to pay the cards off. Now, that sort of comes in two realms. There's, I want to take this long to pay it off, so in order to do that, I need to pay X amount of money a month, as well as I'm paying about X amount of money a month, so it's going to take me this long to pay it off. But looking at that both ways to make sure that I can make the best decision for my current financial situation. And last but certainly not least is looking at my credit score and my credit report. I've been working really hard to improve my credit score. I wanted to make sure that I had the ability to qualify for some loans and to make sure that I could do the things that I wanted to do financially. So that's something that I have been working on for a while. And it shows, I'm glad to say. It's still not where I want it to be. I'd love to have perfect credit, but it's slowly getting there. But I also wanted to go through my credit report, and I'm so glad that I did, because I found a couple of really big mistakes. One, for an account that was supposed to be closed 4 years ago, where they're saying that I have this outstanding balance and it's weighing my credit score down. And it's a totally erroneous charge. So I've called them. We're working through that. I ordered old statements and we're getting to the bottom of it. But if I hadn't gotten my credit report, I wouldn't have even known that this charge off was there for something that is a complete error. So really making sure that I had good information on my credit score and my credit report so that I know exactly what I'm working with, having all the information to make great decisions. So next week, I'm going to do two things in the big money plan. I'm going to spring into action. I'm going to really be looking at what accounts I want to move my money into, how I want to set those up, where I get the best rates, where I'm going to perform the best, as well as start putting into play some financial disciplines that are really going to help me manage my money even better. And then secondly, I realized that I've been on this water thing and I'm trying to improve what I'm putting in my body, but I'm drinking more water, but I'm still drinking a whole lot of crap. So this week is going to be about water, H2O. After the morning coffee, solely water for the rest of the day. And let's just see how it goes, as well as how I feel. Should be an interesting experience. Something small that I have a feeling isn't going to be that small at all. But we'll see. But until then, bye!